on. First of all, you're welcome. This is Mark.
This is Simon. Get ready for some stimulating conversation
And some controversial topics.
Ooh, this is going to be good.
And you don't want to miss it.
Stay tuned.
Because
You're welcome. Hey, welcome.
Warrior.
Hey.
I am a warrior.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I am.
Welcome to the Warriors of Christ United.
Welcome.
Hey, I'm Mark,
I'm Simon.
and our man.
Rupert, hey.
I think you forgot his name.
Sure
Remember, I forgot
did.
my name the other week. Hey, we're glad to be back with you. Last week, we did do a pre-recorded show because we were down at the Youth Congress down in Virginia where we had a great time, but it's good to be back in studio.
Yes, it is.
I'm excited about tonight. What about you,
Woo! Yes, I am, because I am a warrior. A Christian warrior. With me weapon. That big long sword. Anyway, I digress.
man? Anyway, so Rupert,
Yes.
why is it you drove 13 hours
Yes.
to go to a mountain, and what did he do? He said how many clips?
You had like 30 clips, but they were like 10 seconds each clip.
What's up with that, man?
First of all, they were only 10 seconds. I saw the breath I could take after a couple steps. I think I turned this off. It's getting really a little heavy, so I only take clips. But I went down to we've had him on the Bad Man Show, Prophet Hunt. He opened up a new sanctuary, just purchased a sanctuary down there, and we'll get him on the show. Let him tell about the blessing, how God blessed him. He had his first meeting there. I went to support him, but of course, because he's in Atlanta, he has this thing where he goes up Stone Mountain every Saturday. So I said, I'll be on that walk. He did it Friday this time. I said, I'll be with there. Now, in my head, I'm thinking I'm 25. My body was reminding me that I'm not.
So did they build the sanctuary on the mountain? That's a lot of exercise for the saints.
They should have, bro. But we got to
They got a cable car?
They do. They actually do.
They do.
Ooh,
Well,
because it's actually like 1.5 miles up.
okay.
So they have a cable car for those who can't really get there. And then so a couple people took the cable car, and we had a little 15-minute service up top. It was nice, and then we went down. And down was as bad as going up, because down you have to use your legs because it's kind of steep some places. I was like, this isn't fun.
And you're not as young as you used to be, but I'm not saying anything, so we understand.
I get reminded. I don't know. Maybe you guys don't get reminded of that every day, but I get reminded of that every morning when I wake up, when I make this sound. Oh, okay, yeah.
Anyway, so what did you do this weekend? No.
You're lucky we on video.
Don't y'all behave yourselves.
No. Wait a minute. So England played today
Uh-huh.
against Macedonia. And,
Big powerhouse Macedonia.
yes, they are, because you've seen it on the movies, haven't you?
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the movie. Macedonia. Hey, got a bunch of animals on there, but it was 1-1. But England already qualified, so it was just a play game or whatever. And the thing is, right, it was 1-1, and England still didn't score, so it was an own goal. So
sad,
but
sad.
we good though. We good.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's America? How's USA soccer team?
Anyway,
Next subject.
they're not doing what they should be doing, but it's okay. It's okay.
You mean USA football? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, we'll talk about football.
Hey, Mark, how are you? How was your weekend? How was both of your weekends, guys?
This weekend, it was a power-packed weekend. Friday night, there was an event going on at church. Saturday was the event going on at church. And Saturday night, I was at an event. After I left that event and come home and get some sleep so I can get back to church on Sunday morning. The youth were in charge Sunday, man. They just tore the house up. My main man right here, son, Minister Simon Rollins, did an excellent job in bringing forth the word.
Yes, he did.
Really good.
Yes,
Good job.
he did.
And we had a little girl by the name of Nyla, who was about 4 years?
No, she's 4 years old. I'm not
she
sure.
read the opening scripture.
Mm-hmm.
she rolled with it, man. I was like, my heart was just sticking out.
But wait a minute, when she read the scripture, it was in her mind.
In her mind.
She wasn't reading from no paper.
Oh, from memory. She did it from memory.
Yes, she did.
Yes.
It was excellent.
Wow.
And of course, on the same time, on the same day as my son was preaching, it was my wife's birthday.
That's right.
So we had a fun packed day. And so after church, the whole family, we were back at our house, and we had a big old happy birthday to Rachel. Yeah.
Very nice.
Don't say
Don't you mention it.
Don't
you say it. Don't you say it.
She looked beautiful to be her age.
That's right.
Yeah,
There you go. That's good. That's
I got
perfect.
you.
That's it. But man, we're excited about tonight. We have a special guest with us.
Yes.
They're gonna bring their story that's dealing with a situation that a lot of people that are facing today, and the church really doesn't talk about it. So we're gonna bring on tonight Roxy and Sharon Tyrell,
known as Cool Runnings.
There they are. There they are. So let me do a quick introduction of Sharon. Some of you know Sharon. She's an excellent playwright.
Yes.
Anyone who's been in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area, seen some of her productions. To me, she's second to none. Of course, we're her favorite, because we're her favorite actors in her plays. So, I'm maybe a little biased, but, and then next to her is what we.
I got it. I got this one.
Okay.
I got this one.
Okay.
Next to her is our man, Roxy. Roxy from Jamaica. A mechanic that could fix your car in 20 seconds. He's the fastest mechanic. And this one's for you, Roxy. Cool Runnings.
Feel
the rhythm. Feel the rhyme. Jamaica.
Oh, Lord. Lord, my God.
So
that's
tonight,
funny. Thank you.
But before we get into the questions, just want to remind everybody, please like and subscribe to Word United for Christ. We want you to tell your friends, share this. If you're watching it right now on your phone, share it on your Facebook page.
Yes.
Let them know, or the YouTube to somebody. We want to blow this thing up. So we really appreciate it. And also, if you have any questions or comments, please write them in the chat. We will see them live, and our guests will be glad to answer them. If they can't answer them and we can't answer them, then we'll just say you're out of luck. But other than that, God bless you all.
We'll say you're welcome.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So, Sharon and Roxy, right off the bat, knowing your situation, so has anyone ever said to you guys that the reason why you don't have children because you're cursed or anything strange like that?
Well, people say a lot of crazy things to us. I mean, you go through things like this not expecting the crazies to come out. You would expect that they kind of are like more empathetic or sympathetic, but we've had several instances where someone has told us that we're cursed, and it wasn't a person that was in like you would see on the street. It was church people. Like,
wow,
that was going to be my question. Church?
Yeah, it was people in the church that really just was like, the reason why you're going through this is because you're cursed, and it must be something that's down the line that you need to be broken out of your life or whatever. And people don't realize when you're going through infertility, you're not looking for someone to condemn your situation. More so, you're looking for someone to encourage you, because it's a moment of brokenness. It's a moment of I would say, why me type of situation. You're actually questioning God, like, okay, so why is this happening to me? You know what I'm saying? So I would say, like, we've had several instances. Someone said that when you finally have a baby, we're going to just throw a party for you because it's been taking so long for it to happen. And that was a church person that I really held close to my heart. But when that happened, it really broke my heart. And Roxy, he was.
Yeah, so back to the whole curse thing. I do have my dealings with that. In fact, a church brother, literally go as far as to research stuff, bring it to me, via phone, text, and send video of me showing me like pastor preaching a sermon pertaining to like curse on family line. So I don't know how I was fit into that category, but he's saying to me that, oh man, you guys are the kids, probably you're cursed from your father. I'm a pretty cool guy at times. I'm really tolerant. I will
Cool runnings.
well, things slip, and sometimes I don't even say certain things to my wife because I know she tend to deal with things differently. So, I sort of let it settle, and then I suggested to her. I spoke to her pertaining to what the person said, and she was already, hot. She wanted to deal with it, but for me, I'm like, it wasn't that. It was just that he was ignorant to the whole thing about infertility, and that's how I answer him. I said, man, you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You are ignorant to the whole topic you are bringing up. You have no knowledge about this thing. And for your record, there is no curse in my father line because my father have a lot of kids.
A lot.
So the curse thing, you just don't have the knowledge about what you're talking about. So leave that topic alone. And that's how I respond to him and that stupid stuff he raised.
So question, because a lot of and I talked about this. It's so funny because my message yesterday was religious versus the righteous. It seems like in the church there's a lot of religious people who try to find some sort of spiritual, godly answer to things that are happening in our lives, and some things are just life.
That's true.
And you were saying that you were looking for people to pick you up. You were looking for the righteous people to be there and support you. But kind of, could you tell folks, because sometimes we don't understand it, because even though we might be encouraging you, like for instance, your friend, you said, oh, I'm going to rejoice in that day. Maybe to them, they thought it was encouragement, but to you, it might not have been. What were you kind of looking for? Like, what kind of would you, like, if you were dealing with somebody now going through what you're going through, what would be your response to help them through it?
I think my response more so is just to listen and be there, because a lot of times you don't really, unless someone that is going through infertility really expresses to you what is going on, you wouldn't necessarily know what's happening behind closed doors. And that particular day, I was down in the dumps already because I had tried for IVF, and that same day I got results that IVF didn't work. So by her stating, oh, when you finally get pregnant, oh, I thought I was going to be pregnant today when I went to the doctor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I thought that when I went there, I was going to be able to say, oh, it finally happened. But what I would suggest for someone who wants to encourage someone that is going through infertility is really just to be there. And just ask the questions. What can I do for you today? Is there anything that I can do for you today? Because and Roxy can attest to this, because I love my husband to death because he's there when I'm having my emotional breakdowns, right? Like, and he probably has his own breakdowns sometimes, but men are different than women, right? So it's just like I needed someone to just be
to support,
and not to say what you're going to do, because we don't know if it's going to happen or not, right? We just are manifesting and hoping that God really comes through with his promises. And I just wanted for her at that point to just say, how was your day today? What could we do for you? Because every day is different, and he's a testament to that. I could be happy today, and tomorrow I'm like, well, why is this happening to me today?
That's good, because that goes into my next question. Is that that when young people get married, as soon as they get married, everyone's, oh, you're gonna get married, you're gonna go home, and you're gonna have lots of babies, and we're gonna be your your aunts and your uncles and your godparents. So my question then is, as you've said, is how did that affect your marriage with all this going on right now?
Oh yeah, it affects our money or marriage as it's let me put it this way. The expectation. Okay, I'm a Jamaican, okay, so right off the bat, my mother, even though she wasn't here for my actual wedding, when a video was played in our reception at our wedding, and her request was that she wanted to have grandkids, like right off the bat, right there, just so that pressure on me already to become a father or a parent. Then Sharon, parent expect grandkids, because when two young people come together, married and everything like that, kids are should follow after that. So living with the experience of we not being able to do that within a certain period of time, it has become like a burden for us, because we are trying to make it happen, but I guess science or whatever it is just not coming together. So it's a pressure that we have to live with, and it's not like we're trying to please people, but for our own satisfaction. This is what we really need, I would say. And so we see God's blessings in everything we do, and see God in facing, I would say, daily for this to happen. And it's just things just keep coming on the negative side. So it's really a struggle, and we just have to keep on going on and just trust each other and trust
Yeah.
God.
Well,
And I would say, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
I would say, to piggyback off of what Roxy said, I think there's a negative and a positive to it, right? So the negative was, for me at least, was I sometimes became very distant. I sometimes became very depressed and had anxiety a lot. I mean, if you're looking at it, all of our friends were pregnant at the same time. So it was kind of like I was always getting something, another pregnancy announcement. So that made me even more sad, laying in the bed. Just so as far as the negative, it really affected our marriage, because he was always trying to sometimes pour into me because I was always sad, right? But the positive for that was it, in a way, did make us stronger, because I know there's people that divorce over these types of things, but God so happened to really place in our hearts that, you know what, this is most likely happening for a purpose. We may not know what this purpose is at this moment, but he made our marriage stronger. And even though we still have our moments, the positive about this is that we didn't let each other go. We continue to stay with each other, and we're just praying that God will continue to strengthen our marriage in the process of us still trying to figure out, okay, we still have the desires of having our own children. How do we move forward?
Well, there's a question coming from this person you know well, Anita Brodus.
Who?
And she's asking the question, are you feeling like the Lord is not hearing your prayers, or that your prayers are going unanswered? And it's kind of what the question I was going to ask. And do you feel like God is forsaking you? So it's like she's reading my mind, so to speak.
You want to go first, or you want me to go? Listen, me and God got this relationship right now that I be going off on him sometimes. Like I really do. Like me and God, we be going at it, and for a very long time. I think maybe last month, Roxy and I had this conversation. Give us
one then. Give us one thing when you went off. Come on.
I was like, God, you know me. I be working for you, and you can't do this one thing. Like I'll be going off, and sometimes I don't talk to him for weeks. I'll be like, I'm not talking to you this week, or like, but he knows my heart, right? But at the same time, I want to be honest with him. Like, I'm not feeling your decisions right now. Like, your decisions are affecting me. I just turned 40, and I'm just like, Lord, the eggs is about to be hard-boiled. Like, God, what's going on?
Did you say hard boiled? Did you say hard boiled?
It's hard boiled.
I did. But on a serious note, for a very long time, and to be honest, I'm just getting to the point where I'm just like, God, do you love me or you don't? Like,
Right.
it really affected me to the point where I'm just like, God does not care for me. He does not care for Roxy, because if he did, we wouldn't be going through this.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I am like that. I'm going to go a little technical in automotive business realm. You know, I'm like alignment machine. Okay, so when she's off like that, and you know, it's recently, you know, she was down, and you know, I said, "What's going on?" She tell me, she just don't feel like she's where she should supposed to be with God, and we're talking. I'm like, you know, so we're talking and having the discussion, and I said, you know what we're going through right now, it's for us to, you know, learn from this process and this situation that we're going through, learn how to trust God in it, because it's not like a coincidence that he chose us. You know, the situation that we're experiencing is to prepare us for the next step to come. And if we're not going through this, you know, then we probably don't know how to deal with whatever other situation may face us. And we don't know the end result of this whole process that we're going through. He has something in store for us that we just cannot see. So I have to keep her hopes up, because they say if you lose that hope, then it's like you give up on God, and that's the last thing you want to do. So I'm always there to bring her back in line, as well as I need to. But I always try to encourage myself, you know, and we support each other. We support each other. Yeah, you do that.
Okay.
But we support each other.
Okay.
She's more serious.
Okay.
She don't play. She's like,
Someone asked the question, how long y'all been married, so that the audience know?
11 years.
11 years now.
11 years. Okay.
Okay.
So in doing that 11 years, Sharon, I mean, I know we've somewhat talked about this, but we'll just ask the question anyway. How do you feel when you see others pregnant, knowing that you've been trying to get pregnant yourself?
Now I feel fine. Now I would say that it comes in, I guess it comes and goes, right?
Mhm.
I'm definitely much better than I was 5
More mature.
5 or 6 years ago. That's definitely for sure.
Mhm.
You know, I could tell that I'm in a better place because my brother just had a baby and I'm so excited about it.
Mhm.
If that would have happened 5 or 6 years ago,
Yeah,
it would have been, I would have been really, really sad for a very long time.
a lot
because
of tears.
a lot of tears. But I mean, I only had one breakdown, so that was great. One big breakdown, and then after that, I was great. Okay, but back in the day, I used to be very envious. But the thing is, God is amazing, because I don't know how it happens, but every time I was about to every time someone told me that they were pregnant,
Mhm.
God had already showed it to me in a dream. He had already showed it to me in a dream. And I would tell Roxy, I was like, I think so-and-so is about to tell me that they're pregnant or something. And I lied to you not, maybe like a month or two down the road, they're like, Sharon, I don't know how to tell you this. And that's another thing. If you have a friend going through infertility, just tell them. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Just go ahead and tell them. And it would be true. God just knows how to he knew how to prepare my heart, even though I didn't I felt happy about it, but I felt sad for myself at the same, or like for us at the same time. Because then I had to go tell Roxy, guess who's pregnant?
Yeah, well, so you know what the church, I was asking before, Roxy, you want me to say this in Jamaican, Roxy, or what? I mean, I can if you want.
Anyway.
No, but you know what? Go ahead and say what you're gonna say. I can wait. I'm just
no, go ahead. I was just supporting what you were saying.
What you say?
I was just, you want me to talk, Pat?
Yeah, go on.
I I need a translator to go do that, man.
Yeah, we're gonna get our producer Ken
the show.
to translate.
We have
You want me
multiple
to
cultures
talk, You want your
See, because I'm outnumbered. We got 3 Jamaicans on here right now. I'm like,
No, but I got
You not
my
interpret
question
that.
well, no, my question to Sharon is that because you know that you got close friends. One of my daughter is one of them, and then you see all your close friends and they're having babies. How supportive are them friends to you?
My core group of friends are very supportive. They always are asking, you know, you good? How you feeling? Especially during that time. Because once it went around the circle that so-and-so was pregnant, they would text me like, how you doing, girl? You all right? You want to go out for dinner? You want to get something to eat? You know? But I don't think that Roxy had the same support.
No, I don't have no support.
Like
I'm on my own.
In
fact, you know, I'm put it this way.
that's a good point right there, Rox.
he was in it by himself. Nobody.
Rox, that's a good point you're about to make because Sharon had that support group, but you didn't. So let's talk more about that. Go ahead.
Well, my support group was trying to deal with. It's not. I wouldn't say support group. Okay, it's how do I internalize all things, the negative things that are coming at me on the question. For example, from a Jamaican standpoint, you know, when a man doesn't really have kids at a certain age or married and don't get kids, the man first now call you, you're bored or you're bored.
Yeah.
Right? you're now fire right and all them stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm dealing with all this stuff. And but it's like the Spirit of God is telling me, you know, I cannot respond to these guys in a way that I would want to. Because most of the time they are speaking out of ignorance because they don't know what I'm going through and what we're dealing with. So oftentimes I would smile it off. I would just say, man, when God ready, you know, we don't have control over that, you know, but deep down within myself, I have to pray through that process and or to deal with that because those are some heavy stuff. And that can belittle your manhood because then you hear people throw it. Because every time I talk to a family member or a friend, they want say, what the kid them? You know, baby yet. You know, especially when other friends have kids. And, you know, I'm like, well, I don't have control over that, you know. And, you know, people ridiculed me.
Yeah.
You know, I deal with a lot of ridicule, but it was more than, it's more than me. You know, and it's some heavy stuff. As a man, I know as a female woman, but for a man got to bear seed. You know, that's what they look at you. And because they say, okay, if you don't have no kids, you can't. It's like you don't really have anything to prove that, okay, you really a man. And if you interpret what I'm saying in my Jamaican version. So it's really heavy, but I have to give God glory and praise because he helped me to cope with this. Really good. And I've matured to a stage right now where I'm okay. Whether or not.
See, that was going to be my next question for you because you pretty much answered it. I was going to ask, how did that affect you mentally?
Yes, it really affected me mentally to a real, but praying, you know, I have to pray a lot, you know, and my wife supports and within encourage myself, you know, because even though my wife may speak, comfort me and all this stuff, and other people may comfort you and say good things, but it is how I internalize the whole thing. And when I put everything in front of my whole, in front of me like that, and look at it and say, oh, I'm getting older, no kids, married for X amount of time. So you add up all the stats and it's like, you're still coming up with 0, you know, but I love my wife and I told her like, listen, I met you and I told you I love you. No kids wasn't there. You know, it was us. So I'm not going to disrespect you and let you feel Lord belittle you and as if you are not a woman. You are still my wife and I love you. So we're going to work through this, you know, with the help of God and go through it. And whether or not we got a kid or not, we're gonna enjoy our life to the fullest.
Right.
And thank God for my wife, because she's a outgoing person. She's a planner. She likes to have fun, and that pulls me out of some of the dark and the deep moment that we have at times and we're going through, and go out and have fun and enjoy yourself, and just sometimes forget about it. Let God deal. I told her a lot of times, I said, you know what, let God deal with it. We can do whatever we can do on the medical side, or but it is in the hands of God, and whenever He's ready to bless us with children or kids, it's up to Him.
Yeah. So my next thing to you then, Roxy, is that, and now I feel a little bit guilty. The reason is you said you had no support.
Yeah.
So as us brothers in the church, I feel like now that I guess I will have to apologize that we didn't really have a discussion about it. We see each other as friends and we can talk and whatever, but I guess did you ever reach out to anyone? I mean, just like the brotherhood, even though we should have reached out to you and asked you questions, did you ever reach out to anyone? Because I know definitely that if you'd no, answer the question. I got you.
It's a sensitive topic,
Yes.
infertility. So people don't really, for me, I'm not really go say to someone, okay, I'm going through infertility with my wife and we can't have kids. So I would have to know people that are going through that, are men that are going through that, and say, well, we could have discussion around it because they are experiencing it and they understand what a person who are going through infertility deal with, male or female. It's not something that everybody can really come to you and try to, support you through that, because they don't know what it's like. If you are a man who have kids, you don't know how to really tell me and support and tell me something that would really make me feel as say, well, okay, comfortable in a sense, because I'm gonna look at you and say, man, you don't know what you're saying because you have kids and I want what you have, so if I'd have to really have a community of men who really going through that to really support me. But I don't really
men
see
that were in our church that have gone through that.
I don't really know them like that, So I just feel like I'm on a limb by myself.
I'm just saying,
So
I mean, and to be honest, go ahead.
Yeah. So back to you, what you were asking. Well, nobody really reach out to me and say, "How you doing, brother?" Because how you coping with this? And I've never really get any sort of support like that.
I'll say something.
Yeah, I was going to ask both of you because, or comment, I guess, because I see and I saw Sharon kind of tearing up a little bit because I know this is tough to talk about. So yes, your openness is very powerful and we appreciate it because it's not easy. So we recognize that. So thank you. But when it comes to people's support, a lot of times because people don't understand, they're sometimes afraid, especially men are afraid to say something because we don't know what to say. I've been in rooms where a guy told his story and all the other guys just looked at him like, what do we do now? We don't know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tough. So, but I will say this is that there is always those folks who you don't see that are praying for you that you don't even know. You don't even realize. You didn't even know they existed, but they're praying for you because for them, that's the only thing they can respond to. So we appreciate those that were doing it for this couple. But my question to both of you is, have you looked at what God is trying to do? And I'm sure you have, but could you explain like that process on, okay, God, we don't have kids. Well, what are you trying to do? And has God answered that question for you?
To be honest, I'm always asking God, like, what is the lesson to all of this? Like, because I feel like I fail the test every time. Like I feel like I fail the test every time. But I'm still striving to really understand what the purpose is for this test, right? So I'm always asking, and I'm always seeking to figure out what the end game is. Like I'm the type, like Roxy said, I'm a planner. I like resolve, right? And the fact that this hasn't resolved for me is an issue. And I always ask God, like, what is the resolve? What is the end? What is the end? Like, and then right now, I feel like He's telling us, okay, I need for you to do this thing for me right now. So we're foster parents. We have a beautiful baby boy
Ask you
that
that.
we take care of.
Mhm.
And like every day I'm just like, this baby needed us for something. He needed for us to be a part of his life for something. But that still doesn't take away the desire of my own child, right? And I feel like if God is not going to come through with my own child, He should just take the desire away, right? So I can focus on what He really requires for me to do. So my prayer always is like, what is the test? What am I supposed to do? You led us to do foster care. So what now? Is that that's where we're at right now? Like, I'm always questioning. I'm a very inquisitive person, and He knows that about His child. So I just need to be, I pray all the time, like, God, because sitting here and hearing Roxy talk, it hurts me. It really hurt me on the inside, because I want to be able to provide that for him, and vice versa, him for me. But I'm always trying to seek God's face and try to, even when I'm mad at him, I'll sit down and like, so let's talk about this now, God. Like, I'm ready to talk to you now. And seek His face. But Roxy, maybe you have a different, but when we come together and we pray about it. But I have my own thing that I do with God as well.
Yeah, I think in this moment right now where we are, I think God has taken us to this place where He has opened up my heart to something that I would never thought I would do. And that is to raise another person's child like my own. When this little baby boy came to us, I'm like, wow, can we do this? And to be honest, I'm not. It's not our biological child, but I'm feeling so connected to this little boy. He felt like he's our own child, and
We forget He's not our own child.
yeah, and I'm like, I never thought I could do this, because I used to say to myself, I don't think I would really do adoption. I just want to raise my own child. And I don't know if because I used to think like that while I'm here we're in this positive situation, probably like God want to say, okay, if you're thinking that way, then I'm going to change your thought and your thinking and give you something more to challenge you, to open you up to something that you say you wouldn't want to do. So here's it. A stranger is in our life that we felt like it is our own creation, and it taught me how to be more patient and open to have an open heart and open mind to the things that the unknown, in a sense where you are now able to do something that you wouldn't do, you say you wouldn't do when you were younger. And I'm really embracing this phase of our life, being a foster parent, and fostering this child, and we are pouring into him all the love that we would pour into our own kid if it was our child, and I think that's what God wants us to do right now. And that I think that is the purpose that we're one of the purpose, I would say, while we are going through this process, we are getting back, and it is a blessing. So even though it's painful of what we're going through, but it's like this whole nurturing this child has just covered that whole pain or the old hurt that we have been through, and he bring joy to our life and a
We
different
didn't know that our
perspective.
house was so boring until he came into the house.
Man,
Our house was boring. We was two old people sitting on the couch.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, come on.
would you want to watch on Netflix today?
We're
You know,
enjoying it. No.
I'm gonna let Mark and Simon get another question, but I just want to say one is, Sean, you have not failed the test. I want to let you know that right now. Number one is the fact that you're sitting here talking to us
Yes.
is an A+. Okay,
Yes.
you're not
Right.
feeling that you've overachieved. All right.
Mhm.
Number two, I want to say to both of you, I asked the question. I don't know why I asked the question, but I asked it because I was going to ask you about adoption and all that things. I don't want you to think that God has put that child into your life. I want you to think God has put you into that child's life. You could make that child the next powerful person in the world because God needed you to pour into that child. And for all because the way we do things, we want things, but then we don't take on other things. You were saying, Roxy, if I was going to have my own child, well, then that child wouldn't be with you right now. And God needed that child
That's
to
true.
have you as their parents. So
That's
I'm
true.
telling you right now, you guys have not failed. You have passed tremendously because God would not have given you that gift if he did not expect you to make that child great. So I'm excited for you. Okay. Great.
Yes, so we have 3 minutes to go. This has been so
Wow,
great.
that went really fast.
Got more than 3 minutes.
No, psych. Anyway, I'm on British time right here. So, because you know,
That's
I'm
great.
way ahead.
You thought we were 45 minutes. You know we're an hour show. We thought we're 45 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah, no, what was going to say? I even forgot my question. Oh, yes. Okay. The one question is, do you feel
Sorry.
your situation? Do you feel your situation is bringing you closer to God? Why or why not? Yeah, that's the question. If Roxy can do this in 2 minutes, I know that's impossible.
Okay, let me do this in 2 minutes. Excuse me. Okay, situation definitely it brings us closer to God. You know, because for me, and I think I can speak for Sean also, we realize that we don't really have control of this, you know, and I often tell her that let it go. You know, because when you try to hold on and you try to make things like we have to get this done in a certain period of time, and you know, so you know, female talk, the clock is ticking and all this stuff. I said, you know, God have the law saying this. So I always try to put God in the center of our situation, you know, because in fact, that's where everything is going to change. You know, when God say yes, it's just time for this to happen. So I always constantly in my quiet moment, you know, talking to him, you know, Father, I'm trusting you, you know, to make this happen for us, you know, if it's your will. You know, so it draw me closer to him and to make me see God in a different way that when I would say younger and going through this process, you would think that, oh, you know, it would probably push us away. Yeah, there are times when we are feeling like we are so far away, but going through the process, it really pulls us closer when we see what God is really doing through us and how he's working in our life. So he brought me closer to God, you know, and see God's blessings every day. You know, even though it doesn't bless us with what we really want right now, but I'm looking around and I say, we are blessed comparing to if we're going to compare ourselves to other people, we are blessed, and let us count these blessings, you know. So I'm grateful and thankful for every day.
So the question for the both of you, this may be a real sensitive one. When you first found out about the whole diagnosis of infertility, did you kind of do like finger pointing, say, no, it's your fault. No, it's your fault. Your soldiers aren't marching. Your eggs aren't releasing, anything like that? I mean, did you ever go through a tit-tat like that type of thing?
So in 2014 we were pregnant, had a miscarriage, right? But we never was a couple that pointed fingers like it's your fault or it's my fault or it's your fault. We just went through the process, went to get the testing, what's going on. we were diagnosed with unexplained infertility, which means that everything works properly, everything works fine, everything is fine, but it just isn't working. Like every test that comes back, they're like, it's normal.
Yep.
Every normal. So that's where my frustration is. Like everything works properly, but it's just not happening. So that's how I know for a fact it's a God thing, because if the medical doctors are telling us that everything is working properly, why is it not working? Why is it not working?
Yep.
So with the infertility, unexplained, it's diagnosed as unexplained infertility. It just means that there's nothing on a scope that could tell us why you guys are not getting pregnant.
No, that's some deep stuff. That's some first.
Like, and so it's just like, God, like, come on, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? So, we never pointed fingers. We just went through all the testing, and my doctor was just like, uterus good, sperm good. It's just everything is. We don't know. We just have no clue why it's not working. And so we were always like, there was no reason to blame one or the other person because everything is fine in the medical sense of it. So I'm just like, well, God, what is it that you're requiring from us? Like, this has been 10 years at this point of trying to have our own child. So it's just like,
so we're still in that hope zone right now. We're still in that place.
We're in the hope zone because nobody never told us we couldn't get pregnant. It doesn't
So what? So let the audience know, what is the young man's name who's living with you right now?
My boo boo Chung Chung.
Right.
What?
His name is Chung Chung. Unfortunately, can we say his name?
You can't? Oh, for reasons?
For foster care reasons, I'm not sure.
Okay,
but we call him Chung Chung.
Well, you know his name, so
but that's why we have to, like, we don't want to breach nothing. I mean, we don't want to get in trouble for anything. But I got one question for you, though, Roxy.
Yeah.
Is he gonna play real football?
My baby can play.
I'm trying to get him, but he's not using his feet.
He got a goalie spirit.
I'm trying to teach him.
He can't use his feet, but he can use his hands. He's good.
Yeah. He'll kick it for a little while, and then he'll pick it up.
Daddy, I'm like, kick the ball, man, kick the ball.
Oh, he's telling Daddy to kick the ball. He teaching you?
Yes, he got a goalie spirit. So I told Roxy he needed to train him to be the greatest goalie he can be, because he is not letting his hands go.
Well, I guess he's not going to be no Anana. So, okay.
Shots fired anyway.
We got a couple more minutes.
Yeah. So, Sharon, what would you say to a couple that's going through your same situation that you're going through?
What I would say to a couple that's going through our situation right now is that it's okay to feel how you feel. It's okay to have your moments of doubt, have your moments of clarity, have your moments of hope. Like, there's so many different emotions that go into this diagnosis, whether it be unexplained infertility, or there's a sperm malfunctions, or if there's endometriosis, all of these things that can hinder your fertility. I would just say, keep, even though it's going to be hard sometimes, just keep holding on to God's promises. He has promised that we could be fruitful and multiply, and that no good thing would he hold from people that love him. And it's just, you have to just continue to pray and trust that God knows what's best. And it's going to be hard. So go ahead and cry them tears, girl. Sir, go ahead and cry them tears, sir, because, it's very, very hard. It's very, very hard diagnosis. And I wish that especially people in the church would treat infertility like they treat other diagnoses like cancer and all of those things, because with those diagnoses they will pray you. They're not going to say, girl, just adopt or go to foster care. They're going to say, or cut off your breast because you got breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? They are going to really just zone in and support and then encourage, but they don't do that for people of that dealing with infertility. And even in the Bible there was some if you look at the story, especially Hannah's story, I always look at her story all the time. She was praying so hard that Eli was like, go on, drunk woman, not realizing that she's pouring her heart so like hard to God for her to have this child that,
Right.
he didn't know. But, and then you have Penina, which I think Penina in today's world is social media, your friends, all these gender reveals. There's so many things that can represent the essence of Penina. And you have my husband who was like, what's her husband's name? Hannah's husband. I want to say, I forgot his name, but anyway, you had that man in your life that really wants for these things to happen for you as well. So pray for his spirit as well. So I would just say, keep moving, keep shaking, keep praying and hoping that God, just really keeps his promises, which he will always do. And it may not be the way you want it to come out, but it's always he always keeps his promises. Roxy, what would you say?
Well, I would encourage
2 minutes, Roxy.
2 minutes. Oh, I'm always on 2 minute time. Okay, let me see how fast I can do it.
Because we know you can talk.
Man. Anyway, so how would I encourage the person? If it's a Christian person, I would encourage them to trust God in the process. Do not give up on themselves. Just keep believing. And open, because they say without hope, all things are lost. So you gotta hope for the possibility that one day it will happen. If you have medical problem, and it's like there's no real hope for anything to happen, do you just trust God to comfort you, give you strength, because it's not easy dealing with something that you desire, and expect of you to have. Because of the word of God say we are to be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth. So, if you really love children, then you're looking forward to have that. And it's not everybody really want kids, but we really do need kids in our life. And it just haven't happened for us in the time that we're in right now. But I would encourage a couple out there that are experiencing what we're going through to just trust God and trust the process. And if they're trying, keep trying, don't give up, and believe that one day, it may be possible that they may be able to become parents. And there are other media things you can do.
Fertility specialists, go to get checked, all of that stuff.
So
this question from Audley Burke: what scriptures and other practical resources did you use to encourage you to continue on your path? Did you have certain scriptures that you look to, or like you said, Hannah was somebody? She's one of my favorite stories in the Bible, because I'm a child. Well, my sister is a child of a Hannah, because my mother was almost 10 years without a child, and she went through Jamaican, so she was going through all those things. My father was older; he was 19 years older than her, and so they actually almost thought they weren't going to have one. But then my sister came, so Hannah's one of my favorite stories. But what scriptures are things that you kind of use to kind of say, yeah, this has helped us, encouraged us when we needed it?
For this is the child that I've prayed, and that's one of Hannah. I love that scripture because I pray for my child all the time. I always say that at the end of the prayer, especially if my target prayer is for myself and Roxy to have a child, and I'll end it with, for this is the child that I've prayed for. And like I always go to that Bible verse. And what's the other Bible verse I go to? Which one that you go to, Roxy, while I'm thinking about mine? Don't be giving us no hard questions, or at least
I sort myself with scriptures, may not be a whole Bible verse, but for example, I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me, so when I'm feeling like I'm down and out, I've just said, come on, I can do all things. So even though it may not happen yet, I can still do it. Faith is a substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not yet seen. I'm in United States of America today because I take that scripture literally. When I say it, I didn't just say it as if just because it's a word. I act upon it. And when I said to God, the Lord, even though I said going to something else, I said, Father, I'm going to believe you for your word, and I'm going to hold what you say in your word. And when I came to America, I live on that word. So I believe that God is able to do anything that I ask him to do as long as I stay in alignment with God's will.
Amen.
Hey, thank you guys, but we're running out of time. I mean, this has been so good, so good. I mean, Roxy, you really said something that struck home about that lack of support from the men, as Simon said earlier. I apologize on that as well. I mean, we've always talked to Sharon. We always see Sharon. We always talk to Sharon about stuff.
I'm in the back.
Sharon was more expressive.
I'm in the shadow.
Roxy.
I'm the expressive one.
Oh, next time
it's those two guys.
Anyway, hey Roxy. So next time you come and get the offering, I'll come and ask you a question.
You see, you guys tell him. You guys don't know. I can talk, but when it's right, when the moment is right.
See, I'm the talker. Well, Roxy talks, but I'm the more expressive one.
I'm like,
no, Roxy talk. Yes, he talked. I got one question for you, Roxy. Then we got it because we got sponsors. How many times did you take your machete out when them people ask you them questions that hurt your feelings?
You know what? You're right. I never bring it with me. My 28.
Because I know a Jamaican got a machete.
we don't got no guns. We don't have no guns. I said, baby, what this machete gonna do if somebody come in here with some guns? Listen,
I've seen that 28 work well, man. I said, this is my
Sherrod, a Jamaican with a machete is as bad as a man with a 38. You gotta be careful.
See, I wouldn't know. I'm Jamaican,
I'm like, what is going to happen?
He ain't cutting coconuts either.
Jamaican men become ninjas. You don't see them; they hide in the shadows.
Hey, but again, Rox Sharon, again, thank you so much. And when we sign off, Rox Sharon, don't go anywhere. We're going to talk to you a little bit more off camera. We want to thank. Hey guys, next week we got another exciting show for you entitled "From the Prison to the Courthouse."
Yes.
Excuse me, from the prison house to the church house.
The church house.
And we're gonna have an ex-warden and an ex-inmate on there going to talk about their experiences. So that's going to be our next Monday show.
Yeah, they don't have machetes, so but we'll be
I thought we had inmates. I thought we already.
I am proud of both of you. Really am.
Yes.
Yeah, Sharon, Roxy. Proud of both of you.
And make sure y'all check out my YouTube channel too. Whoever's looking, it's Chronicles of She, and I have all my documentaries on there, and my play Chronicles of an Empty Womb on there too.
Wait, what is it? Let me put it out there. Chronicles of She.
Yes, so it's Chronicles, 29. And then of, and then it's brackets S, and then it's bracket with he inside. I'll put it in here. I'm going to copy and paste it.
You put me through a Chronicles and all this different stuff. But while she's doing that, let's just real quickly, we want to thank our producers who help us out with the show. We want to thank Ken Welsh and Albert Minded and all the folks. We also want to thank all of you who've been supporting us in these 2 weeks. It's been great. We love what's been happening, but we want you to share us with everybody, your friends, your family, your enemies. A show like this, you don't know that somebody you might have shared this show with is going through exactly what they're going through, and they have just picked them up and encouraged them. So please share this show with everybody, and we thank you too so much for being on.
For having us.
You're welcome.
Oh, somebody put it in there. Chronicles of She.
Oh, thank you, Audley.
Yeah.
All right. Nice.
So, guys, I'll let you guys sign off, and then we'll close it up.
Hey guys, as we would say,
You're
You're
welcome.
welcome.
Thank
Wow.
you.
Oh, that was good. You did good, honey.